How's it going, everybody? Good evening to y'all. Well, I wanted to say a couple things this evening. Been wanting to make a video all day, but I really just haven't had the time or found the quiet moment to do so. But I wanted to say, oh, that smells so good. But at the end of the day, when all of our debates and arguments and disagreements about life are said and done, and we've hung up our hats for the day, so to speak, it's important to remember that we are really all one unit. And I realize that there are a lot of people out there who do not believe that, who still see themselves as separate from the whole and consider themselves to be a lonely, scared vessel in this vast sea. But you don't have to feel that way. And I know some people will say, oh yeah, sit there, smoke your pipe, you stoner, delusional, thinking that everything's connected, and I say, yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Everything is connected, and all of us are connected, and every one of our behaviors affects someone else, affects us. In the very least, I could just break it down for you. Natural law, whatever you want to call it, tells us that if we do something dumb, we will pay the price. It doesn't matter if you pay the price physically, mentally, emotionally. You will pay a price. If you've ever stolen something from a friend, or wronged someone, or if you made a promise to someone that you broke, all of these things show that we have this feeling in our gut that we need to do what's right. And it's like altruism. I've sat and said, maybe it could be something that's just a selfish notion that we just want to help people because it makes us feel good inside. But it's more than that. It's a genetic or spiritual, whatever it may be, connection to each other that makes us want to help people, that makes us want to adopt an unruly child and raise them as our own, and have no vested interest in doing so other than to help a child that needs help. These are the things that just amaze me and remind me that we are all connected in this vast, amazing existence that we call life. And you can't explain life in a textbook. You can't explain life in a story. We do a pretty good job explaining life in symbols, but really that's just the human version of what we consider to be important in life. The symbolism we use, the deep, rich symbolism. Metaphors, archetypes, allegories. But all the nonsense aside, what is really there when you remove all that we've learned, all of the knowledge that we have about what we are, who we are, what we're supposed to be doing? And all that's left is a set of values that seems to be inherent within every person. A set of values that even some of the most sociopathic people have deep in them and suffer often because they make decisions that aren't in their best interest and continue to do so, and it becomes a repeating cycle. Well, I for one am just a guy doing the best I can in this world. God to me is everywhere and everything. I don't see myself as separate or better or worse than anything. I consider myself part of the whole, the essence. That I'm from dust I came, and to dust I shall return. Perhaps my spirit will carry on. And once again, there's a siren while I'm making a video. I said this yesterday when I was making one. It's the only quiet time of the day, Of course, somebody's like, God, it always sounds like you must have a lot of crime over there or something. It's like, no, it's usually just an ambulance. Well, In the old days, I would have turned the video off, got all frustrated, and started over. That's what I guess I'll leave on this note when I speak about all being connected. It reminds me that I've changed so much over the years, and there were times when I was, I guess, in a state of mind where I had to prove myself, or to argue with people for the sake of argument, or for the sake of trying to say, no, you're wrong and I'm right, or you're a fool. I still love to argue, I still love to debate, but I don't do it to prove anything. I just do it for the sake of presenting an alternate argument. That's what an argument is. But anyway, I've learned to calm myself and calm my emotions over the years, and not get so angry with people and with things like this. A bunch of fucking ambulances cruising by while I'm trying to make a video, and I haven't made one all day. It's been all quiet out here. And those are the things that used to irritate me. They're little things that piss me off. Just like when I'm driving and I see somebody do something dumb, make a dumb turn, or, not using their turn signal. It doesn't make me angry. I'm just aware of it. And this is exactly how I've been with people on the internet that I've dealt with over the last few years on YouTube. And I've learned so much from observing how people react. A person may come well-mannered or pretend to be well-intentioned, and then you can see that they're trying to get attention, and you call them out on it, and then all of a sudden they just start pissing and moaning and calling you names and being crude. Then there's some people who start out insulting you, and then you call them back on it, and then in the end they start playing the victim, like, oh man, I was just kidding, I was trying to be a friend. Among all these different types of people, we have to remember that we're all just people. We're all different minds on the internet. And this is why, back to the beginning of this video, when I said, at the end of the day, you hang up your hat, your arguments between Christians, atheists, right and left parties, and political interests. It doesn't mean you have to love each other for what you believe. It just means you have to realize that these are the checks and balances that keep society functioning, but they're also the checks and balances that keep us moving forward as a species, not in a production or monetary type sense, but without checks and balances, meaning that you have two conflicting sides to look at, and you either pick one or you find somewhere in the middle. Without the extremes, we can never know what it's like, what the worst case or best case scenario might be. For example, liberal and conservative, or so many different viewpoints on life. It means that we're never going to get people all to see our point of view. And it's very difficult, in a world where, for example, sometimes I feel like maybe I'm a little hard on Christians. Why? Because I feel like maybe it's my retaliation because of how hard they are on me. In the sense that, Christians have been playing the victim card lately. There's been a lot of talk in the news about Christians saying that, Christianity is under attack and all this. And I say, well, how and where? Who is attacking Christianity? It's not under attack by science. It's not under attack by politicians or anybody else. It's under attack by its own lack of a foundation. A strong foundation of a religion or belief system doesn't need any defense. It doesn't need to prove itself to anyone. And this is why I know Christianity fails. It's because it has no foundation except the Bible, which the only legitimate source to prove the Bible is true is the Bible itself. And this is the circular argument. So it's not that I'm out to get Christians or to harp on Christianity. It's that I'm out to say, it's time for Christians to stop telling people that one day they'll see, or I've been where you're at, or that until you find my way of thinking in the Lord, you will never be happy, you'll never make it to heaven, you're going to burn eternally in hell. And meanwhile, many of us who have moved so far beyond that dogma, just kind of scoff at it and laugh a lot of the time. And just a lot of people say, just let it go, roll it, just ignore the Christians. But you can't, because they won't go away. And the whole point that I'm trying to convey to the Christians is that you don't need to go away, nor do you need to get everyone to see things your way. You just have to accept what you believe as being your path and others as their path. And for a lot of people, that's impossible because it's my way or the highway type attitude. So we all do our best, and we're all looking for the same truth. Often people who are of a religious persuasion called nonbelievers, evil, that they're demonic, they're materialist, self-righteous. I've been called every name in the book. And over the years, I've become so immune to it that, I thought back, I was called some pretty harsh things the other day by a couple random people. It seems like there's something in the air lately, people just kind of rawr. And, hey, bat. So look up. You see bats. There you go. I saw some people making some pretty crude comments back and forth, not just to me, but to others. And I thought about back in the old days, when I first started on YouTube, and how when somebody said something like that, it would affect me. It took me a couple of years to realize that, nothing anyone says on YouTube matters. And unless you let it matter. So all the negative things that people say just float right past me. But all the positive subs that I have who have something positive, constructive to say, and I'm not talking about agreeing, I'm talking about positive, being a human, it makes it worth it for those people. Even if I had 1,000 negative Nellies out there, if I've got, even a couple cool people, like, I won't even name anybody. I have several good commenters that I really enjoy your perspectives, all of you. And I do read all the comments, and I love the debate, and I love the discussion about who we are. And I believe in a higher power, a higher consciousness. I'm not going to call it God, but there's an order to things. I don't understand it. That our souls have a, deeper purpose than our human existence. That reincarnation doesn't involve you or me as our personalities, but rather as something greater, part of a bigger whole. We can set ourselves aside and be a little more humble. And, life is damn interesting. That's all I can say. It's good to be part of humanity. I'm grateful to be human. I'm grateful to be alive. I don't feel like I'm out of place in this world. I feel like I'm part of this world. And more importantly, I feel like this world is part of me. And I just want everyone else to feel that way. Sitting at home today with my family, eating dinner. Awesome experience, just like a gathering of loved ones. And watching the kids play in the backyard in the sprinkler. And just exploring all the avenues of the day. It's just great. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. Peace, everybody.